Hey guys, how's it going? This is our next video lecture for the coming week, and the question we're going to focus on is what happened at the meeting between Pope Leo and Attila the Hun. Now, I'll give you a ton of background and the resources as necessary to answer this question. We've been focusing on ancient Greece, the Roman Empire, all that stuff. This is going to take place right as the Roman Empire is ending. Rome ends in roughly, they say, what was it, like 456 or something like that. There's no exact date. It's not like there was the last day in Rome. But this happens at the end of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, as we saw, it was a kingdom. Then it was a republic. That's probably when it was at its strongest. And then it becomes the Roman Empire with Caesar Augustus. And then it's going to fall about 500 years after that. Towards the end, we're going to see the rise of Christianity. People who thought Jesus Christ was the Messiah, Lord and Savior. The Bible is written during that time in the 3rd century. And Christians are going to make up a decent amount of the Roman Empire. They're going to be persecuted during that time. And then Rome is going to slowly start to fall apart, mainly because it got too big and it was very hard to manage. And all empires fall. No empires last forever. But that's not what we're going to focus on today. What we're going to focus on today is what happened when Pope Leo of the Catholic Church met Attila the Hun. Now, the Pope obviously is the head of the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church to this day is still located in Rome at the Vatican. Pope Leo will be in Rome, and the famous conqueror, the famous barbarian, Attila the Hun, will come to Rome, and he's going to meet Pope Leo. And we don't know what happened. We have no idea what happened. So I'm going to give you as many clues and context as I can, and I want you to tell me what you think happened. Now, again, oh, jeez, see my hair? It's just, can't go to the barber, so it's just getting worse and worse. And I'm not cutting my own hair, no way. Now, basically, they're going to meet Attila the Hun and Pope Leo. I want you to tell me what you think happened based on the evidence that I provide for you here. Okay, so what we're going to do is take a look at a painting. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a great source, but this painting will tell us how people thought about this meeting. This painting is called The Meeting Between Leo the Great, again the Pope, and Attila, created by Raphael in 1514. Now, Raphael da Sanzio d'Arabino was a great Italian Renaissance painter. He wasn't there. He wasn't at the meeting. The meeting is it's over 1,000 years before this painting was made. But in this painting, he's going to depict what he thought happened at the meeting. Now, if you look at this painting, what you see is very interesting. In the top left, it looks like there are two angels. They're flying. And they are looking in the direction, the rightward direction. Below them, you see a man on a horse wearing a hat, a white hat, and then you see someone carrying a scepter with the sign of the cross on it. So this must be the Pope riding a horse coming to see Attila the Hun. But when we look on the right side of the painting, we see smoke, we see fire, we see flags, we see people who are looking unruly. The horses seem out of control, unstable. It looks like a mob. And in there somewhere is Attila the Hun. Now, it kind of looks like the guy who's being pulled away and his left arm is pointing up. Maybe that's Attila the Hun? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell. But it's interesting how Raphael makes the left side of this painting look bright and sunny and like it's being blessed by God. And the right side of the painting is dark and black and has smoke. Even the clouds are dark there. Raphael clearly believes that at this meeting between Pope Leo and Attila the Hun, that Attila, this horrible barbarian conqueror, showed up, but then God sent two angels, in the light to send Attila away. Well, here's the thing. I have no idea if two angels show up. I mean, I don't believe that. If you do, fine. But I don't think there's a lot of evidence to prove that. Here's what I do know. Attila the Hun did leave. Now, why would he do that? Attila the Hun's a conqueror. He goes from town to town, village to village, takes what he wants, and brings it back to his village, which is today basically the state of Hungary, or the country of Hungary. And why would he go to Rome, the most famous empire in the world, the heart of the most famous empire in the world, and just leave? Well, according to Raphael in this painting, it's because angels showed up. That's not a good enough answer for me. I don't necessarily believe in angels. If you do, that's great. But there's not a lot of evidence to prove that, and this painting is not great evidence for that. So for a long time, I think people just thought the power of God sent Attila the Hun away. I mean, how else, why else would he do it? Well, I'm asking you to think a little deeper today. I want to know if you think there was another reason that Attila might have left. And I want you to tell me that in 10 to 15 sentences. Okay, so let's look at document A, Paul the Deacon. Paul the Deacon was a Christian monk and historian who lived in the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages are like the end of the Roman Empire and before the Renaissance, so like 500 to 1400 AD. It's called the Middle Ages because it literally happens in the middle of two big periods, many years after the fall of Rome. In the following excerpt from his book Roman History, published in the late 700s, he describes the meeting between Pope Leo and Attila the Hun that took place in 452. All right, so this Paul the Deacon guy wrote this in the late 700s. He was not at the meeting, but he's going to describe what he thinks happened. Is this a great source? No, he wasn't there. So I wonder if he's going to reference something. He might have been told a story, or who knows, but let's see what he references for an answer. Attila, the leader of the Huns, who was called the Scourge of God, came into Italy inflamed with fury. Now, scourge is a great word. It means a person who gives punishments, somebody who punishes other people. He says he came into Italy. Now, remember, Rome is the capital of Italy, so it's a city, and then Italy is the entire country. Basically saying he came into the Italian peninsula, headed towards Rome, inflamed with fury. In other words, Attila was looking for a fight. Attila was looking to take, to steal, to plunder. Then Leo and a large part of the Roman Senate went to meet Attila. He spoke to the monarch Attila, saying, "The Senate and the people of Rome, once conquerors of the world, now conquered, come before thee as suppliants. We pray for mercy." Now, suppliant is a person who prays, begs, or asks. So basically, we're coming to you as beggars. We're coming to you asking, praying that you will please not steal from us and you will please not kill us. Please don't harm us. That's interesting. So, according to Paul the Deacon so far, Pope Leo begged Attila the Hun and said, "We once were the conquerors of the world, but now we're conquered. We're begging you for mercy." Read the last paragraph. As Leo said these things, Attila stood, silent, as if thinking deeply. And lo, suddenly there were seen the apostles, Peter and Paul, standing by Leo, the one on the right hand, the other on the left. They held swords stretched out over his head, and threatened Attila with death if he did not obey the Pope's command. Wherefore Attila was appeased, and promised a lasting peace, and withdrew beyond the Danube. Now, when it says withdrew beyond the Danube is a river, and they're saying it's up in the center of Europe towards Germany and Austria. They're saying, okay, he went out by the Danube. He left Rome, basically. That word appeased is great. Attila was calm. He was pacified. He was satisfied. That's what it means to appease. So this is interesting. This document from Paul the Deacon, again, who wasn't there, says Pope Leo begged. And Attila stood there silent, thinking, should I show mercy on these people? I guess. And then Peter and Paul, the apostles, showed up with swords, stood in front of the Pope, and it says they threatened Attila with death if he did not obey the Pope's command. So that's just like the painting that we saw. The two angels there must have been Peter and Paul, and they showed up and they said, "Begone, Attila, otherwise we will kill you." So God literally protected Rome from Attila the Hun. I'm less inclined to believe the last part, and I'm more inclined to believe the first part. But what do you think? Do you think if Pope Leo came to Attila the Hun and begged and prayed that Attila would just say, you know what, it's not worth it, and leave? Did he have mercy? Did he think there's nothing here? Rome was towards the end. It wasn't looking good. So did Attila get there and go, this is Rome? Doesn't look that great to me. It's not even worth the time. Or did Attila leave and say, I'll be back. I'll be back. I don't know. What do you think? So that's one document. I want you to use one quote from this document. You don't have to agree with it. Just use a quote, explain it to help your answer along. Okay. Go to document B, Prosper of Aquitaine. Prosper of Aquitaine was a Christian writer at the end of the Roman Empire. In the following excerpt from his book, History of the World, published in 455. Okay, so 455, that's 3 years after this meeting took place. He describes the 452 meeting between Pope Leo and Attila the Hun. Historians don't know if Prosper was actually at the meeting. Now that's really interesting. We don't know if he was there, but this is written 3 years after the meeting. So there's a stronger chance that this is accurate. Does it mean it's accurate? Does it mean it's more accurate? No, but there's a stronger chance because it's closer to that time. Let's see what it says. Now Attila took his way through Pannonia, into Italy. To the emperor and the Senate and the Roman people, none of all the proposed plans to oppose the enemy seemed so practical as to send legates to the most savage king, Attila, and beg for peace. Now, legates are government officials, meaning they would send these government officials before Attila, and they would beg. They would say, look, we don't have anything. We're in charge here. Please take mercy on us. Okay. Our most blessed Pope Leo, trusting in the help of God, who never fails the righteous in their trials, undertook the task. When King Attila had received the embassy means a group of people on a mission for a government, ambassadors, basically people who go somewhere on behalf of the government. When King Attila had received the embassy, he was so impressed by the presence of the high priest Leo that he ordered his army to give up warfare, and after he had promised peace, he departed beyond the Danube. So instead of two angels showing up and saying, you better listen to Pope Leo and leave, otherwise we'll kill you, it sounds like, according to this, that Attila the Hun meets Pope Leo and he respects him. He is impressed by the high priest. That's the word he uses. So the difference between document A and document B is that one says, the angels showed up after Pope Leo begged and helped him. This says that Attila met Pope Leo and thought, I would feel bad killing this guy. I would feel bad sacking Rome, taking this city. I would feel bad doing that. So I'm not going to do it. I don't know. Is that what you think? Who knows? Now, those are our only two documents for this. So I'm going to add a little bit of information into this to help you with your answer. Before Attila the Hun came to Rome, he had been up in a region called Gaul, which is today basically France. And he had been there for about a year, pillaging and plundering, killing people, taking their things. So by the time he winds up in Rome, he's been out for a year collecting a lot of goods. Is there a chance that he met Pope Leo and was impressed with him and went, you know what, I've got enough. I'm going to head back. Or he got to Rome and he said, I've got enough. Rome doesn't look like it has anything here. I'm going to leave. It's a possibility. Answer in 10 to 15 sentences. There's one other thing you should know. Attila the Hun is going to die in 453, a year after this meeting. He's going to die from what is a supposed lung infection. He was going to be coughing up blood. It's believed by historians that Attila the Hun was coughing up blood all the way back in Gaul, which he was in before he was in Rome. Did Attila the Hun know he was sick? Did Attila the Hun know he was dying? I don't know. If he didn't know he was dying, maybe he went to Rome and just thought, I'm too tired. I'll come back to Rome in a year. I'll come back after I feel better. I'll go back to my homeland and I'll come back. Maybe. Did he know he was dying and he thought, I'm not going to spend my dying moments here in Rome. It's not that great anyway. It's falling. So, you know what? I'm impressed with this Pope guy. I'm going to spend the last year of my life back home. I don't know. This is a mystery, and there's not a lot of evidence here. So all I want you to do is use documents A and B just for quotes, and then tell me, what do you think happened? Because if you think about it, it's crazy that Attila didn't take Rome. Rome was on its knees. They were done. They were finished. They're going to fall not soon after this. And Attila, who's leading this strong, powerful army, doesn't take it. That's a mystery. That's strange. It doesn't seem logical. So you use your logic and reasoning to tell me, why do you think that this happened? Do that in about 10 to 15 sentences, and remember to quote documents A and B. And if you need any help, you can email me. I have my Zoom meeting 9:30 to 11 on Friday. Make sure you check it out if you have any questions. I always do the week of and the week before, or any questions you might have, okay? Good luck, and I look forward to reading your answers.